Live with Art International, thanks for watching this Thursday. Another big story we're tracking too. What's going to happen in Venezuela? Well, the latest there, a few things to tell you about. The Venezuelan government claims to have intercepted an illegal arms shipment at one of the country's airports. We'll bring you more when we come back.
So what we've got to do is identify the threats that we have.
It's crazy.
Confrontation, let it be an arms race.
Who is on offense? Very dramatic development.
I personally am going to resist.
I don't see how that strategy will be successful.
Very critical time.
Time to sit down and talk.
You know, if Putin said suddenly that, oh, we recognize Nancy Pelosi as the president of the United States and we're not going to talk with Donald Trump, the world would be, outraged. But of course, the U.S. has this theory of exceptionalism and that no law applies to them, and so they can do whatever they want. But by these central banks buying gold as they are now coming to the conclusion that America has lost its mind. And then when they run out of gold to buy, I guarantee you they're going to start fishing around the Bitcoin market.
Hello again, this is RT International. The Venezuelan government's claiming to have intercepted an arms shipment coming from the US. According to the Interior Ministry, the stash includes rifles, ammunition and communications equipment that are allegedly flown in from Miami. The authorities say the bust was part of a broader crackdown on organised crime. Political analyst Lucas Kerner told us this could be linked to an opposition request for US support.
This is very alarming. We should consider that CNN reported just a little while ago that the dissident Venezuelan military officers outside of the country were calling on the Trump administration to provide them with arms and training in order to topple Maduro. I mean, of course, this brings us back to the U.S.'s support of the Contra War, the Nicaraguan mercenaries who invaded Nicaragua in the 1980s under Elliott Abrams as Secretary of Western Hemisphere Affairs, who has now been brought back to oversee Venezuela's quote-unquote democratic transition in the Trump administration. Moreover, the Morning Star reported just today that the British military, the British Navy in particular, has been conducting military exercises close to Venezuela. And additionally, Donald Trump indicated on Sunday that U.S. military intervention in Venezuela remains, quote-unquote, an option on the table for the White House.
Other news lines that are coming too to tell you about. The Venezuelan military has barricaded a bridge on the Colombian border now to block a delivery of humanitarian aid. These are the pictures. Seems 2 shipping containers and a tanker truck have been placed along that big old highway there. The convoy of aid donated by the US is said to be currently on its way from Bogota, according to the Colombian government. As for the Venezuelan opposition leader, Juan Guaido, he said the supplies are going to test the military's loyalty to the government. And as for President Maduro, he's rejected the aid firmly, saying the people of Venezuela are not beggars, and such shipments, he said, would be used to justify a foreign military intervention. Then there's the Red Cross side of this. It says it's stepping up its own aid efforts in Venezuela, doubling its budget for the country. The group further goes on to say its policy of neutrality, though, means it can't take part in the US aid deliveries via Colombia.
According to the fundamental principles of impartiality, neutrality and independence, the ICRC cannot take part in the initiatives to hand over assistance for Venezuela from Colombia.
It is the U.S. that is the principal party responsible for the economic crisis, and it has been intensified in the last 2 years. Just last year, the medical shipments that Venezuela had ordered from abroad for vaccinations for children, for insulin for all the insulin-dependent patients of Venezuela, and several other medical needs were completely blocked by the U.S. in ordering the banks from accepting Venezuelan money. Venezuela has the money and the resources, but it's being strangled by the United States. So the U.S. carries out an economic war for years, and then comes with crumbs as a theatrical act to say that they want to help the Venezuelan people from starvation.
The Democratic Party in the U.S. state of Virginia has been plunged into political crisis this week after claims of racism and sexual harassment were levelled at 3 of its top officials there. First, the current governor, Ralph Northam, found himself embroiled in scandal after a racist photo from his student days appeared. Northam denies being in a picture, but has admitted to wearing blackface to a party on a separate occasion. Now he's facing calls to resign.
It is definitely not me. I can tell by looking at it. I have had friends also look at it and tell me it's not me. That same year, I did participate in a dance contest in San Antonio, in which I darkened my face as part of a Michael Jackson costume. I look back now and regret that I did not understand the harmful legacy of an action like that.
Should Northam resign, his successor would be the state's Lieutenant Governor, Justin Fairfax. Now, he was recently accused of sexual misconduct, a claim he denies. And adding to the Democrats' woes in Virginia, there's Attorney General Mark Herring, who's third in line for the governorship, who's admitted to having worn blackface in the 1980s, way back though, on Wednesday. Political commentator Julio Rivera told us the slew of allegations against powerful Democrats in the state are jeopardizing the party's legitimacy there.
Virginia has become a national disgrace, and it's become a disgrace to the Democrat Party. Right now, the situation is certainly unprecedented. If all 3 of these politicians that are embroiled in controversy wind up resigning, then we'll actually have the Republican leader of the legislature as the governor now. So this state can actually flip into a Republican state. Virginia is a state that borders, the nation's capital, and there's a lot of political animals in the area. You know, it's very embarrassing for the Democrat Party and, quite frankly, shocking.
24.5 minutes past midday. Wherever you're watching around the world, I hope your Thursday's going good. Always so much more for you on our main site, rt.com. Here in Moscow this Thursday, then, Kevin Owen saying thank you for watching.